Hello, everyone. Today we're looking at one of the strangest little automobiles ever built. At first glance, it looks like someone accidentally shrank a delivery van in the wash. But this tiny machine had a very serious purpose. The Larmar Monocar wasn't created to set speed records or impress the neighbors. It was designed to restore freedom after World War II. And believe me, I couldn't believe this happened when I discovered that it was narrow enough to drive through an ordinary British garden gate. That's not a joke. That was actually one of its biggest selling points. The story begins in England. Larmar Engineering Company had been founded back in 1919, but in the summer of 1946, it entered the automobile business with a unique idea. Britain was recovering from the war, fuel was scarce, steel was limited, and thousands of disabled veterans needed affordable transportation. Instead of building another conventional car, the company designed a single-seat microcar that was incredibly compact and inexpensive to operate. Early versions measured only about 31.5 inches, 80 centimeters wide, with bodies made from plywood covered by aluminum panels to reduce weight and manufacturing costs. Only around 200 examples were built between 1946 and 1951, making it one of Britain's rarest post-war automobiles today. I can't believe this happened, but the engineers deliberately made the Larmar narrow enough to pass through a standard 30-inch, 76.2 centimeters garden gate by slightly angling it. Power came from a rear-mounted BSA single-cylinder engine of about 249 cubic centimeters, producing roughly 8 horsepower. That doesn't sound impressive until you remember the entire vehicle weighed only a fraction of an ordinary family car. The engine drove a single rear wheel through a chain, eliminating the need for a differential and keeping the design wonderfully simple. A 3-speed Albion manual gearbox handled shifting duties, while independent front suspension and quarter-elliptic rear-leaf springs helped smooth Britain's less-than-perfect roads. Top speed reached approximately 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, which was perfectly acceptable for city streets in the late 1940s. Fuel economy was astonishing at around 65 miles per gallon, or roughly 4 liters per 100 kilometers, and the tiny 2-gallon, 8-liter fuel tank still provided an impressive driving range. Even the turning circle measured only about 15 feet, 5 meters, making tight city streets feel enormous. Collectors loved the Larmar because every engineering decision had a purpose. Nothing was added for style alone. The tiny body, the lightweight construction, the simple drivetrain, and even the unusual proportions all existed to provide affordable mobility when Britain needed it most. Around 1950, a wider version became available so owners could carry a folded wheelchair beside the driver, proving that practical thinking always came before appearance. I can't believe this happened, but some people today spend more money on optional wheels for an SUV than the original buyer spent on an entire Larmar. Because production numbers were so low, surviving examples are exceptionally rare. Only a handful are known today, with restored cars appearing in museums such as the Lane Motor Museum in the United States and the Great British Car Journey in England. When one appears at a classic car show, crowds immediately gather, not because it's the fastest vehicle there, but because everyone asks the same question. How did someone even think of building this? Now let's talk money. A Larmar was marketed as affordable transportation, although exact original prices varied during production. Today, however, rarity has completely changed the equation. Well-preserved examples are extremely desirable among collectors simply because so few survived, and finding one for sale is far more difficult than finding a dreamer who swears he'll restore 5 classic cars next weekend. Before we finish, I want to thank all of our amazing channel members. You keep these forgotten automotive stories alive, and that's worth more than chrome bumpers and polished paint. If you enjoyed meeting the incredible little Larmar Monocar, don't forget to subscribe to Cool Ideas. Who knows? Next time, we might discover a vehicle so small it needs its own parking space inside another parking space. The philosophy behind the Larmar Monocar was brilliantly simple. Build the smallest practical automobile possible without sacrificing reliability. Every inch of the body served a purpose. The rounded nose improved airflow, the flat sides simplified manufacturing, and the open cabin kept both weight and production costs low. Instead of chasing luxury, Larmar focused on accessibility. The result was a vehicle that ordinary people could afford to buy and maintain during one of Britain's most difficult economic periods. Compared with other post-war microcars such as the Microcar, scooter car, and later the Peel P50, the Larmar arrived years earlier and pursued practicality above everything else. It wasn't trying to be fashionable or sporty. It simply promised dependable transportation at a time when thousands of families couldn't afford a conventional automobile. The rear-mounted motorcycle engine, lightweight construction, and narrow body made ownership remarkably inexpensive. Even today, collectors admire the Larmar because it represents genuine engineering creativity rather than unnecessary complexity. It proves that solving a real problem often produces far more interesting machines than simply adding more horsepower. The story becomes even more fascinating when we look at its rarity. Production remained very limited, with only about 200 vehicles completed between 1946 and 1951. Today, only a handful are known to survive, making every restored example an important piece of British automotive history. Several can be found in museums, while a few remain in private collections where they continue to delight enthusiasts. I can't believe this happened, but one of the surviving cars is still driven regularly, proving that good engineering never truly becomes obsolete. Unlike many forgotten inventions, the Larmar still performs exactly the job it was designed to do nearly 80 years ago. Now let's talk about value. Although the Larmar was originally sold as affordable transportation for everyday people, surviving examples have become highly desirable collector's items simply because they are so rare. Public sales appear only occasionally, making precise market values difficult to establish. When one reaches the collector market, originality, documentation, and condition become far more important than horsepower. Sometimes the rarest vehicle in the room isn't the fastest one. It's the one almost nobody has ever seen before. Before we finish, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone supporting cool ideas through channel memberships. You're the reason we can keep uncovering incredible forgotten vehicles like this one. And if your neighbor ever tells you that your car's too small, just smile and remind them yours can fit through a garden gate while theirs struggles to fit into the supermarket parking space. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and don't forget to subscribe because the world's strangest machines are still waiting for us.